Back in Orchard Park as we get set for the opening kickoff. It's the Bills and the Patriots on a beautiful 58-degree afternoon. Not a cloud in the sky. Before we get started, downstairs to Tony Siragusa. Goose.
Thanks, Kenny. You know, when I look at Buffalo, this team has a defensive line that can totally take control of the game. And New England, when I look at them, their offensive line, they've been really inconsistent. What I'm going to be looking at, I want to see how New England goes and tries to slow down those big guys, Kyle Williams and Marcellus Darius, and give Tom Brady time in the pocket to look downfield and find his receivers. That's the big question mark for me today.
All right, Goose. Bill Belichick in his 15th season with the Patriots. He is 25-3 against the Buffalo Bills. Doug Marrone's Bills tied with the Patriots atop the AFC East at 3-2. The Patriots won the toss, elect to defer. C.J. Spiller back deep, and we are underway in Orchard Park. Bills will start from their 20-yard line. Led onto the field by Kyle Orton, who makes his second start as a Bill after replacing E.J. Manuel last week.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have to understand Kyle Orton, no time during training camp, preseason with the Bills, came in that first week getting ready for the opener. You're going to get limited snaps, mostly scout team, so he's been on an aggressive plan to get up to speed with this playbook.
I'll tell you what, though, who's talking to him, he's pretty confident knowing everything that they throw at him.
C.J. Spiller in the backfield. Bills start from the 20. This is Spiller. Looks to cut to the outside. And he is down back at the 17-yard line. Loss of 3 on the first play from scrimmage.
And that's been one of the big question marks right there. You take a look at that run. This offensive line has got to be able to open up holes. You cannot force your running back to make cuts deep in the backfield. And C.J. Spiller sometimes is going to have to take what's there. You know, there's not an opportunity every single snap to try and hit that home run. Sometimes you got to hit it up in there for 2, 3, 4 yards.
Spiller replaced by Dixon. Second down and 13, and this is Booby Dixon up to the 20. Gain of 3, so the Bills now facing a third down and long as we check out the 4th-ranked New England defense.
Yeah, this unit has been playing well, and one of the big adjustments last week is actually in the secondary. Darrelle Revis locking down with A.J. Green against the Cincinnati Bengals. He's going to be doing that same job this afternoon against Sammy Watkins. He's looking forward to going against the young rookie.
Fred Jackson has checked in, so 3 different backs the first 3 plays for Buffalo. Play clock at 2. Orton looked to throw for the first time on 3rd and 10. And the pass broken up by Alfonso Dennard. Robert Woods, the intended receiver, so the Bills go 3 and out on their opening drive.
And all started with that negative run on first down. The Buffalo Bills must become more productive on first down. It's an area where that New England defense has struggled during the course of the season. They've got to be better.
Julian Edelman back deep for New England. Holton Schmidt waiting back at his 6-yard line. Just gets it off. Is met immediately back at the 35-yard line. Terrific coverage downfield following the 43-yard punt by Schmidt.
And Duke Williams is there immediately. Just a great job on the outside. Good timing right here.
So now the Patriots will go to work. Tom Brady listed as questionable on Friday's injury report, tweaked his ankle. Brady and the Patriots start from their 37-yard line. Four receivers set on first down, and it is the local product, Rob Gronkowski. Out to the 44-yard line, gain of 7.
And the big question mark, as Tony pointed out, is going to be this offensive line. Ryan Wendell kicks in from right guard to center. Josh Klein gets the start at right guard. It's been an area where there's been some inconsistency throughout the year. We'll see how that pans out today against a very good Bills defensive line.
Second career start for Klein. Ridley in the backfield, second down and 3. And Brady hands it off to Stephen Ridley, and he is bottled up back at the 42-yard line by Mario Williams, along with Nigel Bradham.
Here's the group that this Pats offensive line is going to have to deal with. 3 of the 4 Pro Bowlers, the only one left out, Jerry Hughes. And Jerry Hughes is having a fantastic start to the season. And Tom Brady said, we talked to him before the game, he goes, I watched film, and Jerry Hughes is starting to look like Freeman from the Indianapolis coach, just unbelievable coming off the edge.
That's a pretty good compliment.
Dwight Freeney, one of the best out there when you get mentioned along with him.
Absolutely.
Now with the Chargers, third down and 5. And it's a first down into Bills territory for Gronkowski.
You know he's going to be amped up for this game. Rob Gronkowski, local boy, coming back here as the opposition wants to have a good game this afternoon. Patriots sliding into that up-tempo offense now. They'll slide in and out of this during the course of the day.
2 tight ends set, empty backfield. From the Bills 48. Brady's pass sails incomplete, intended for Brandon LaFell, who started the game for Danny Amendola. Suffered a head injury last week. He is in uniform today.
Working on the outside against Stephon Gilmore.
Brian Tim's in the game, number 84 for the Patriots. Activated this week. Second down and 10. Play action. And now Brady going deep, looking for Timms. Corey Graham on the coverage. Third down and 10 upcoming.
Well, this is good play action fake by the Patriots in the backfield. Keep an eye on the release right here. A lot of these are won at the line of scrimmage. He gets on top of Stephon Gilmore, but there's Corey Graham at the safety spot. Takes him over deeper in the secondary, step for step.
Amendola in the slot to the right. 3 receivers set. Third down and 10. Play clock at 2, and Brady forced to use a timeout. Early first quarter in Orchard Park. Third down and 10 for the Patriots when we return. Welcome back. Early first quarter. Third down and 10 for New England. Patriots must get to the Bills 38, and the play is blown dead. It's a false start. Walt Coleman.
False start. Number 11.
That's on Edelman.
I think it's going to be a challenge all afternoon long for the New England Patriots here. This stadium is always loud. One of the more difficult stadiums that I had to play in. This crowd is unbelievable, and the fact that Terry Pegula addressed them before kickoff, thanking everybody and challenging them to be the difference in this game today against the Patriots. They're doing their best right here.
Now on 3rd and 15, Patriots keep it on the ground. It is Shane Vereen. Kyle Williams back this last week's game against the Lions. Williams the tackle. Patriots will punt it away, and Pegula introduced about 10 minutes prior to the game and received a standing ovation. Fans were chanting Terry, and he said, hey, it's great, thank you very much, but save it for the football team.
Absolutely.
This is where I opened up. Rookie years, my first place I played in. Against the Colts. Wasn't a good one for us.
Punt bounces into the end zone, so the Bills, who went 3 and out on their opening possession, start from the 20 following the good defensive stand. No score at Orchard Park. Bills start from the 20. They went 3 and out on their first possession. Patriots without linebacker Dante Hightower today. First and 10 from the 20-yard line, it's Spiller. And C.J. Spiller takes it out to the 26, gain of 6. Dennard the tackle.
That's what you like to see, Dow, right? Running downhill, right off tackle. That's what they need to do. Not bounce it to the outside and lose yardage.
Yeah, but it's up to his offensive line to give him the confidence. Then he can hit that run downhill. If you've got that penetration, you're going to want to put that foot in the ground. All of a sudden, you're lateral. Too much team speed at the NFL.
Yeah, that penetration. Very every time is a linebacker.
Fred Jackson replaces Spiller. 2nd down and 4. Orton's pass is caught and taken across the 30 for a 1st down by Robert Woods.
I think one of the big differences when you make the switch to Kyle Orton is you get a veteran presence in the huddle. And I talked to Rob Moore, the wide receivers coach for the Bills prior to the game. He's got a young room. Mike Williams is the oldest guy at 5 years. He's not even active today. So this is a young group. They're looking for leadership. They're looking for direction. E.J. Manuel in his 2nd year really not ready to take that next step. Kyle Orton provides that for him in the huddle pre-snap.
Orton with time on 1st down and pass incomplete. Intended for Fred Jackson, who attended Cole College. So did Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Beautiful connection there, Kenny, I tell you. Nice connection here between Matthew Stafford and Theo Riddick. Riddick, normally 3rd down back, getting more playing time today because of the injury to Reggie Bush. 41 yards on this. 2 plays later, same 2 hook up for a 9-yard touchdown. And the Lions have a 7-0 lead at Minnesota, which is just north of Iowa, where Cole College is, Kenny.
Thanks, Kurt. 2nd and 10 as Dixon up the middle. Gets it out to the 35-yard line. Gain of 5.
Yeah, and we're seeing right now that the Bills are going to roll their running backs through and get a real nice blend here with C.J. Spiller, Fred Jackson, and Boobie Dixon right there. And this is a big physical running back, Goose. You talk about getting downhill quick. That's a big man to tackle between the tackles.
Orton pointing out the mic. 37, Dennard. 3rd down and 5. Orton fires. And the catch is made by the tight end, Scott Chandler, for a Bills 1st down, a 16-yard pass play.
But you talk about what Kyle Orton gives you, Dal. He stayed in the pocket. It collapsed around him, but he was in there with his eyes downfield, and that's what a veteran quarterback will give you.
Now, you've got a lot of people at the line of scrimmage pre-snap, and as people are dropping out, nice job by Kyle Orton sorting through all that and then finding Scott Chandler in the middle of the field.
Chandler, the Bills' leading receiver last year. This is Dixon, and he hurdles his way across midfield into Patriots territory.
That was a nice jump right there, Darryl.
Yeah, I don't advise this, though.
No.
Great timing on the blitz, completely disrupts the running play. The athleticism of Boobie Dixon, that's impressive for a big man elevating over the tackle.
All that, gain just 1.
A lot of style there, though, Kenny.
On 2nd and 9. Running to the outside and then forced out of bounds is Spiller. So 3rd and long coming up for the Bills midway through the 1st quarter.
That was Darrelle Revis also. Came up there, and, you know, as good as he is at Revis Island with the coverage, I'll tell you what, he'll come up and he'll make a tackle when you need him. Tough player.
You're going to have force and contain at the cornerback position. So from time to time, it's not all glory and out there covering receivers. And down at the bottom of your screen, you see that matchup. This is going to be fun to watch all day long.
Watkins without a catch so far today. Orton on 3rd and 9, airing it out. He was looking for Marquise Goodwin.
And that's one of the things that happens when you have Darrelle Revis and you can put him on one receiver and lock him down. Marquise Goodwin on the other side, the biggest thing with him is speed. You can see him start to pull away from Kyle Arrington. You're going to be able to take that safety, Daron Harmon, and put him over the top to give some extra help, because the other side of the field, Darrelle Revis, you're confident in him locking down.
Schmidt back to punt for the 2nd time. Edelman back deep for the Patriots. End over end kick. Bounces into the end zone for a touchback. Tom Brady, 22-2 against the Bills. Leads his Patriots offense out.
Tom Brady just went up to Walt Coleman and had him put the ball on the left hash mark for this particular play to see if it any benefit for them.
Second possession for the Patriots. Brady to the outside, and Edelman was tripped up by Duke Williams.
You saw the graphic there. Tom Brady 22-2 against these Buffalo Bills, and just unbelievable what he's been able to do throughout his career. And I don't think he gets the credit because he's been the one constant in New England, and the pieces have kind of moved around him, and he's been able to win with a Randy Moss, Wes Welker combination, Hernandez and Gronkowski as the tight ends. They're still trying to find out, what is it going to be this year? What's our grouping going to be that we have our success and becomes our go-to personnel group?
On 2nd and 10, it's Ridley up the middle, out to the 28. Gain of 8, setting up 3rd down and 2.
And I think you're going to see him lean a little bit to what they found out against Cincinnati last Sunday night with Gronkowski healthy, and you've got Michael Ho'omanawanui and Tim Wright as your tight ends. You'll see multiple tight ends. I think you'll see James Devlin, the fullback, H-back type. They're going to get back to being a physical run team with tight ends that can create matchup issues.
Gronkowski, bottom of your screen, split wide to the left. 3rd down and 2. And Brady finds Gronkowski for a Patriots first down. His 3rd catch today. Gain of 10.
He's just one of those guys that creates a matchup problem because he's too athletic to put a linebacker on him, and he's too big and physical to put a safety on him. There's Duke Williams right there, a good football player, but he's just such a physical guy coming off the line of scrimmage.
Gronkowski out of Williamsville North High School. His dad, Gordon, former offensive lineman at your alma mater, Syracuse. Play action on 1st down. Brady to the outside, and it's taken into Bills territory and then forced out of bounds by Bradham is Ho'omanawanui. Gain of 15. New England tight end.
Well, we talked about, the athleticism in the defensive line, but watch the play flag. They get everybody flowing to the right. Okay, we got to retrace. We got to get back. Jerry Hughes, the only one trying to recover. Look at all the time that Tom Brady has. You can't ask your secondary, your linebackers to cover for that long.
New set of downs for New England. They have 3 tight ends in the game. From the Bills 47, play action, and the catch is made by Ridley. Ridley taken down at the 42-yard line by the rookie out of Louisville, Preston Brown, the Bills' leading tackler. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
And that's why I think they like this formation, this personnel grouping. You've got the 3 tight ends in there, as you mentioned, Kenny, and they're heavy to one side. You motion. You've got to start thinking run as a defense, and all of a sudden it's pass. But not only pass, but you can get vertical with Gronkowski and Tim Wright.
2nd and 4, Ridley. Third down and 1 as the Patriots continue to shuffle personnel. Gronkowski and Wright back in. 2 tight ends. 3rd down and 1 from the Bills 38. This is Ridley, and he is stopped short.
There's a flag.
Late flag has come in.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct number 55 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Oh, that's on Jerry Hughes.
Yeah, and you know what? We saw that earlier in this drive, the little shove on Tom Brady at the end after he played it. Jerry Hughes is down at the bottom of the screen right here. Keep your eye on him throughout the play. He gets great penetration in there, stuffs it. These are those critical penalties. This is going to get lost at the end of the game. Your defense comes out, makes a stop on 4th and short. And it looks like Jerry Hughes is kind of complimenting his teammate Ty Powell right there and not doing anything to the New England Patriot player.
Well, the penalty gives the Patriots a 1st and 10 at the Bills' 23. Match is made by LaFell. Game 6 down to the 17. Time for another game break. Here's Kurt.
Big matchup of division leaders, Carolina at Cincinnati, and the Panthers are off to the quick lead. Cam Newton taking the rookie Kelvin Benjamin his 4th touchdown, leads all rookies, and Carolina leads the game 7-0. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Co-college, not only Kurt Menefee and Fred Jackson, but the longtime Bills head coach Marv Levy as well.
Your knowledge amazes me at times, Kenny.
All the time.
2nd and 4, Ridley up the middle.
They want to run it up the middle on this defense.
And now some more extracurricular activity, Goose.
I think they're just congratulating each other on a great play, Kenny.
Yeah, we talked about this. It's been a lopsided divisional rivalry for a number of years. And the Bills, they feel like they're on the cusp. They're on the cusp of kind of changing this. But they've got to be able to maintain their emotions. It's one of the most important things in a very emotional divisional rivalry. And right now, they're not keeping their composure. And they're not getting lined up very well.
Yeah, a couple of Bills defenders hustling off the field prior to the snap. On 3rd and 1, the inside handoff to Devlin. You mentioned James Devlin. It will depend on the spot. Bills had 13 defenders on the field as the Patriots walked up to the line, and 2 of them hurried off to the Buffalo sideline just prior to the play.
Well, again, if you've got that grouping that you like with your big bodies on there and you can do a number of different things, if you're not substituting, then the officials are not going to hold and allow the defense to match substitution. You haven't done anything. You're just transitioning out of this personnel that's very versatile for you. So the Bills are going to have to be aware of that. If New England is not substituting, but you feel like they're going to do something different and you need to substitute, the officials are not going to give you the time to match.
Devlin stops short. 4th down. Bill Belichick sends out the field goal unit. Stephen Gostkowski, who has hit 20 straight, including a career-high 5 field goals last weekend against the Bengals.
Well, that Jerry Hughes penalty, 15 yards in sportsmanlike conduct, almost cost them, but defense showed up and held them.
31-yard attempt from the right hash. False start.
False start, number 48, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That's the long snapper, Danny Aiken.
Yeah, sometimes those long snappers will try and move a little bit to try and catch you off sides, and if the officials see that, that's exactly what's going to happen. Off sides on the offense and back you up a little bit.
So now a 36-yard attempt. Brian Allen places it down, a bit of a low snap, and the kick is no good. So Aiken commits the penalty, and then a low snap from Danny Aiken, ending Gostkowski's streak at 20. Gostkowski on the left, pulling it wide on the 36-yard attempt, his first miss since last December. They'll start from their 26-yard line. Orton with the shovel pass. It's Fred Jackson. Looks to cut back to the inside. And then is wrestled down by Casey Walker at the 34-yard line after a gain of 8.
Nice shot by Kyle Orton. I think he had an opportunity for Sammy Watkins deep down the left side, but Rob Ninkovich is going to force him up into the pocket, maintains his composure, finds Fred Jackson, flips it out to him. Now, Fred Jackson, don't go back in there. Look at that big man coming from inside out.
Yeah, he gave up 3 or 4 yards a good game.
Woo! They're all coming your way.
Big boys are coming.
Now the Bills empty the backfield as time winds down in the first quarter. 2nd down and 2. Jackson split wide to the left. Orton throws, and the catch is made. It's Chandler again. Across midfield into Patriots territory. Orton connecting with Chandler, a 17-yard pass play. So the Buffalo Bills on the move. Scoreless game at Orchard Park. A look at the first quarter numbers. Bills and Patriots scoreless. Bills have crossed midfield. Kyle Orton 4 of 7. 2 completions for first downs to his tight end Chandler. Off the fake to Jackson. Orton's pass is picked off. Intercepted by Jamie Collins.
We've talked about the benefits of a veteran. You can see Kyle Orton right there. He's taking that one all on his shoulders and well-deserved. Keep your eyes on Jamie Collins, 91. Going to read his eyes, goes out, and then just comes right back to the inside. And there was good coverage behind Marquise Goodwin as well.
First career interception for the second-year linebacker out of Southern Miss. Both the Bills and Patriots +6 in turnover ratio. Tied atop the league coming into this game. Brady on first down to the outside, and the catch is made by Edelman. His first of the day.
You know, watching from down here, Darryl, it's just amazing how fast Tom Brady gets the ball out. The pressure's right in his face. They're doing a good job of going and pushing the Bills' defensive line, but he's got that ball coming out super fast.
He's seen everything throughout his career. He's going to be unflappable. Just his poise, his decision-making. When it's all said and done, Goose, it's going to be hard not to say he's the best of all time. He's going to be right up in that discussion.
2nd down and 2. Brady wrapped up. Able to get rid of it. Following the pressure from Manny Lawson.
That's one of the things you can't do. You can't hold it against this Bills front because they are relentless. They will keep coming. And they can roll in a bunch of different fresh bodies. That time it's Manny Lawson. Just keeps pushing from that right defensive end position. Collapses everything down.
Third down and 2. Patriots empty the backfield. Amendola shifts. Brady on third down, complete to Edelman. And Julian Edelman takes it to the Bills' 40-yard line for a Patriots first down, a 13-yard pass play.
Just so quick in and out of his breaks. You know, and just off the release. I mean, you're going to get beat right from the start. Right to the inside, flatten out to create that nice throwing lane for Tom Brady.
You can't let him release off the line of scrimmage free like that.
You got to get a jam on him.
First and 10 from the Bills' 40. On the end around, it is Edelman. And Edelman is forced out at the 30-yard line by Denoris Searcy. And he looks to have another New England first down. Gain of 10. .105 receptions a season ago. From the Bills 30, off the fake to Ridley. Brady going deep into the end zone. Edelman is shoved, and there is a flag. Duke Williams, starting for the injured Aaron Williams, shoved Edelman. It's a pass interference penalty against Williams.
Again, another nice formational change of motion.
Defense, number 27. Ball foul is in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
Well, the thing that really got Duke Williams in trouble was the route that Brian Timms ran. He made him step underneath to avoid the contact there, and then Julian Edelman had him out-leveraged down the sideline, got past him. But again, that's that two tight end formation, two receivers. Are you going to run? Are you going to throw? There's so much flexibility in that personnel grouping, and Tom Brady goes for the touchdown.
29-yard penalty. First and goal from the 1. Brady lobs it up, corner of the end zone, touchdown, Tim Wright.
He was wide open in the back of the end zone on that one.
And it's not a real difficult play. You know, this is one of those goal line plays that everybody has, and there's not even a down block cell. I mean, he out-leverages Preston Brown immediately. A lot of times you'll see that tight end kind of ride down, at least show a little bit of a block, and it'll pull defenders up. But Tim Wright released right into the corner, and nobody had him covered. He was completely dropped in coverage.
Wright reaching the end zone for the second straight week. The former Tampa Bay Buck. Gostkowski the extra point. The push, pass interference, Duke Williams. And the Patriots take advantage, lead 7-0. Tim Wright, acquired for Logan Mankins back in August, scores for the second straight game, a 5-play, 61-yard drive following the interception by Collins, and then the pass interference call on Duke Williams.
And Patriot fans, with the inconsistency in the interior of the offensive line, you know, hey, what are we getting for that Logan Mankins trade? You know, we don't think it worked out in our favor very well. Now all of a sudden, Tim Wright becoming more and more comfortable in this offense and with Tom Brady.
C.J. Spiller takes it out. And Spiller is brought down at the 14. There is a flag.
During the return, holding number 85 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
That's on Lee Smith. Wright the touchdown. Career TD pass number 366 for Tom Brady. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa back at Orchard Park. Doug Marone's Bills trail 7-0. Start from their own 6-yard line. Taken out to the 8 by Jackson. Vince Wilfork the tackle. Fourth possession for the Buffalo Bills.
A missed opportunity on that last one. Finally start to get something positive moving and have the interception by Jamie Collins.
Bills with only 3 first downs so far today. Dixon in the backfield. Second down and 8. This is Dixon up the middle. And he's tripped up, takes it out to the 13-yard line.
This is a big snap right here for the Buffalo Bills with the backed up after the penalty on the kickoff return unit. You can't turn this back over to New England right now. This is a big third down conversion for Kyle Orton right here. He's got to find a way to convert.
Jackson in the backfield, third down and 3. Bills must get to the 16-yard line, and they do not. Dennard comes up to make the tackle. He wraps up Robert Woods. So the Bills forced to punt once again.
Well, you got a bunch down at the bottom, and normally when you have a situation like this, you're going to try and challenge, you know, your defenders by releases. And I tell you what, Alfonso Denard does a great job because he's on the inside receiver in the bunch, fights through that release, and is able to get out and make the tackle on Robert Woods.
Schmidt waiting back at his goal line. Third punt. Edelman takes it out to 41. And Julian Edelman is out to midfield. There is a flag, 2 flags during the return.
You got one flag right near the line of scrimmage, and you have one right where the tackle is made on Edelman. Officials have the new communication where they can all talk, but these guys decide to go and huddle up again, Darryl.
You know what, though? We've talked to them from week to week about that, and they said there's certain calls, and a lot of this, like you pointed out, Tony, we've got one flag at the line of scrimmage, one flag at the point of tackle. They like to get together and see eye-to-eye contact during those situations when they really have to kind of sort through things as opposed to just talking through the wireless connections.
This crew, as Walt Coleman heads over to discuss things with Bill Belichick, this crew has actually thrown the fewest flags over the first 5 weeks this season. Not the case today.
Well, they probably, looks like it could be both on the Buffalo Bills.
There are fouls on both teams. Holding number 54 of the kicking team, illegal blocking the back, number 55 of the team. Those penalties will offset. We'll replay 4th down.
So the Bills will set up to punt once again following the offsetting penalties.
After all that, we're doing it again, Kenny.
Let's do it again. So Schmidt once again will set up deep in his own territory. Edelman, who statistically is one of the top 10 punt returners in NFL history. All right, here we go, the re-kick. Terrific kick by Schmidt, taken out to 26. First punt was fielded at the 41. 59-yard punt. Colton Schmidt.
Certainly not big on individual stats around here, but 50,000 yards, Tom.
Yet another milestone for Tom Brady, 6th quarterback in NFL history to reach 50,000 yards in last week's game against Cincinnati.
Yeah, part of the Patriot way, it's all about the team, but when somebody throws for 50,000, you have to give him his moment.
Marcus Cannon, 61, now in at right guard for the Patriots. And Brady is down back at the 21-yard line.
There he is, Jerry Hughes.
Yep, come right from the backside of him. Tom Brady goes, and you watch a little play action. His back is to him. By the time he goes and sets up his feet, Hughes is on him and all over him.
Nate Solder cannot go down that far inside. You have to understand the ability of your opponent. Jerry Hughes, very quick, very athletic. You can't commit that far down inside knowing that he's coming off the edge.
4th sack of the season for Hughes. I said right guard. It's right tackle for Cannon. Clyde remains at right guard. Taken out to the 25-yard line by Shane Vereen.
Well, right now the Bills need a spark, and this defense, this is a team that's kind of, moves to the play of their defense. So, right here, the Jerry Hughes play right there, this is huge. We talked about that 3rd down for the Bills offense. Here's another opportunity for their defense, 3rd and long. Get the Patriots off the field, try and create some good field position for your offense to start their series.
3rd down and 17. And again, the Patriots will keep it on the ground on 3rd down and punt it away.
Yeah, you do not want to put Tom Brady back there in the pocket. We talked about his ankle during the course of the week. You've got inconsistency in the interior of your offensive line again. The strength of the Bills' defense is that front four. You get into these 3rd and long situations, absolutely. Let's call a running play. Maybe we hit it, we catch a seam, but it's okay to punt the ball and go down and cover.
I agree. It just takes too long for the play to develop. And right now, Tom Brady doesn't have that time.
Leonis McKelvin from the 24-yard line. McKelvin out to the 34. 10-yard return. Following the great stand by the Bills defense. Best starting field position of the day for the Buffalo Bills from their 33-yard line. Orton handing it off. It's Jackson. And he takes it out to the 37 with 8.5 remaining second quarter. And the Patriots leading the Bills 7-0. And we welcome in the new owner of the Buffalo Bills. He was introduced on the field prior to the game, Terry Pegula. Terry, first of all, congratulations. Welcome to a very exclusive club.
Thank you very much. 32 of us.
On second down and 6. It's a first down for Jackson out to the 44. So what did it feel like to have over 70,000 chanting your name prior to the opening kickoff?
Like I said, after following Ralph Wilson, that's a daunting task. I said to one of our guys in the organization who's been here 26 years, I said, if I own this team as long as you do, as long as you've been with the Bills, I will own it less than half the time that Ralph owned it. So I mean, he's a legend. And I'm excited.
I liked your comment to the crowd before the game where you said, I don't like finishing second in anything, but if it was to Ralph Wilson, I'm all right with that. And then today you get an opportunity to visit with Robert Kraft and the success that he and Tom Brady have had with this franchise, you know, since they've been together. Did he give you any advice? Did he share anything with you, or is that still his division rivals? He's not going to help you out.
Well, he's a class act.
He's unbelievable.
I'll tell you. He said 6 hours a year we don't like each other, and the rest of the year we're partners. And he said, I'll do anything to help you. Call me anytime. That's nice to hear.
Bills and Patriots, of course, rivals since 1960. Gerard Mayo is the injured Patriot. We'll be back. Gerard Mayo carted off the field. He's led the Patriots in tackles in 5 of the last 6 seasons.
And as he comes in to make the tackle, he fights his way through. You can see right here as he plants in. And it's funny how well a player knows his body. You know, he knew right away something had happened, and the teammates get around him. They take the helmets off. So our best wishes to Gerard Mayo coming back from that injury.
Here's Dixon on 2nd and 7. And he takes it to the New England 47-yard line as we continue to chat with the new owner of the Buffalo Bills, Terry Pegula. You were up at the owners' meetings in New York on Wednesday, and we talked about Robert Kraft, the Patriots owner, but what the best piece of advice you received from any of the other 30 NFL owners this week?
Enjoy it. That's pretty much what the guy said to me. It's an exclusive privilege, and enjoy it.
3rd down and 3. Orton from the shotgun. And here's Chandler once again. His 3rd reception. All 3 have gone for Bills first downs.
This is one of the things we need to start seeing more from the Bills, getting this field stretched a little bit vertically. Chandler coming off the wing. You can see right there, right away, he's got Patrick Chung out-leveraged on the release, able to get down the sideline for a big gain.
27-yard pass play. New set of downs for the Bills from the Patriots' 19-yard line. Orton under pressure. He was being chased by Rob Ninkovich, his teammate at Purdue. Well, Terry, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
I got a question for Darryl. Had you ever met Coach Barone before?
Oh yeah, he was actually a teammate of mine at Syracuse for 2 years. So yeah, good friends with Doug.
He's pretty intense.
Yeah, he is. He is. A lot of Long Island, New York, and that man right there. He's a lot of fun. You're going to enjoy him though.
First day I met him, he said, he cut the meeting short. He said, "This may get me fired, but I got a game this week."
The beauty about him, he's all about football. He's all about winning. And as a local guy, I grew up in Youngstown, New York, and we were back with the family on Friday. I have to tell you, you've got this whole area of the state very excited about your ownership of this team. So congratulations and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. And there is your college teammate, Darryl, Doug Marrone, second season as head coach of the Bills.
Kenny, little heads up there. Number 63 left guard Dan Conley for the Patriots went into the locker room to get examined. So we'll keep you updated on that.
All right, thanks, Goose. It's Chandler. And he is close to a Bills first down. What a first half for Scott Chandler.
Yeah, and they've needed somebody to step up and start to make these plays. You know, nice little just stutter go on the route right there against Deontay Skinner. Gets the separation. It's been Scott Chandler on this drive making the big plays.
And he did pick up the first. So for Chandler, 4 receptions, 4 first downs. First and goal from the 9. It's Fred Jackson. And he fights his way down to the 7-yard line. Gain of 2. Casey Walker made the tackle.
And one of the things you have to be able to do in the red zone is you've got to be a good running football team. We talk about this week after week. The advantage goes to the defense. They don't have to cover as much field. So the passing game is very difficult. You've got to be able to challenge them with the run.
10th play of the drive for the Bills. Second and goal from the 7. Orton fires, end zone, touchdown, Robert Woods.
Good patience in the pocket by Kyle Orton. Let it develop a little bit. Here's Robert Woods. He's going to come out of the slot. Good release over the top, and then a nice hard break to get across Alfonso Denard and give Kyle Orton that throwing lane.
First touchdown of the season for Woods. He had 3 last year as a rookie out of USC. Dan Carpenter adds the extra point. Bills have tied the game at 7. 10 plays, 67 yards. Orton to Woods.
Say that there aren't too many times in life that I'm happy with being second at anything. But to follow Ralph Wilson, I'll accept that.
Terry Pegula and wife Kim on the field prior to the game. Ralph Wilson Jr., of course, one of the original American Football League owners, awarded the Bills franchise back in October of 1959.
Just an absolute pioneer for the AFL, and we talk about Lamar Hunt, and we talk about Al Davis, and Ralph Wilson's right there with them, having the vision for that league to get under some sound footing and continue to grow and challenge the NFL.
Those 8 original ownership groups referred to themselves as the Foolish Club.
Not foolish anymore, right, Kenny?
That's right. Group led by Billy Sullivan was awarded the AFL's 8th team, the Boston Patriots, a month after Ralph Wilson was awarded the franchise in Buffalo. And Mr. Wilson actually loaned money to both the Oakland Raiders and the Patriots to help keep those franchises afloat and to save the American Football League from folding back in the early 60s.
If you're going to be critical and take that step out to create your league, to have the follow through, the passion to even help out the other teams in that league.
Patriots start from the 20-yard line. Brady's pass is caught by Devlin, but he is met immediately. Goose mentioned the injury suffered by left guard Dan Connolly. Head injury. His return is questionable, so major changes on the Patriots offensive line. Jordan Devy is in. Fulmer is back at right tackle. Clyde at right guard. Second down and 9. Brady is taken down for the second time. It's Jerry Hughes. Brady was actually across the line of scrimmage this time. Hughes had a sack earlier.
I tell you what, he's got a tremendous first step. He beats the tackle, Nate Solder away. This is why Tom Brady is referring to Dwight Freeney when you talk about the ability of Jerry Hughes. That is tremendous athleticism coming off the edge. I don't know how Tom held on to that ball, too.
That was amazing that he did.
3rd down and 7. Brady throws, and Gronkowski, is it ruled a catch and a fumble? It is. It's ruled a reception. Gronkowski lost the handle, then pounced on it at the 40.
And Patriots are going to get up here, hurry up and get this snap before they have an opportunity to take a look.
Fumble.
17-yard reception, and now prior to the snap, did Marone get the challenge flag out in time?
Well, either the timeout or the challenge.
Buffalo's challenge flag came out prior to the snap.
What do you think? Did Gronkowski have possession for long enough?
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be interesting. You know, a lot of times in these situations, you know,
Buffalo is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
it's what was called on the field because it's one of those ones that is close. He catches the ball, he establishes possession, he's got 2 feet down. Now, does he have the opportunity to make an act common to the game? Can he turn up field and start to run? That's going to be the point of the 3-step process that we have to take a look at, and that's going to be subjective. So if they don't have the proof, it could stay the way it's called. It does kind of look like the type of play that would be normally called incomplete. So I'll be interested to see if they overturn this.
Yeah, especially after some of the plays that we've seen this year, even this past week, and with turnovers that you think are going to go one way, and they stay with the call. But we have Mike Pereira, and he could pretty much educate us on anything. Mike, what did you see?
How about this? I'm called into the play by the Goose. Unbelievable.
Come on, man. We all got to do more.
I think based on what I've seen, Goose, what they've ruled so far this year in replay, even though this is close to bang bang, since it was ruled a completion on the field and then a fumble with the recovery by the offense, I think they stay if they're going to remain consistent with the way they've looked at this. We talk about it being bang bang, but Darryl talked about the 3-step process, which you can actually make here. So I think when they look at this, if they're going to stay consistent with the videos they've sent out, then it would be staying with the catch fumble.
All right, thanks, Mike. It came on a 3rd down and 7 play, so if the call stands, it will be a 1st down for the Patriots at their 40. If it's reversed, they will have to punt it back to the Bills. So we await the ruling from Walt Coleman, taking a look at it in communication with Dean Blandino back in New York as well. Marone perfect this season, 2 for 2 on challenges coming into this game.
Tell you what, guys, Mike Pereira, did you see his tie with breast cancer awareness? He's very sharp looking today. Just wanted to mention that.
As usual. So the Bills challenging the last play. Walt Coleman heading back onto the field.
After reviewing the play, the receiver did not have control of the ball. It's an incomplete. Please set the clock for 2:28, please.
Well, I covered myself pretty good on that one, Kenny. I had all variables in there.
Go either way. That's what I was thinking.
So the Bills win the challenge. Are you surprised, Mike?
Yeah, you know, I am. Again, when you look at the plays that they've put out that say you stay with these calls on the field that are made, I get it, but I think that's not being very consistent on the part of the league.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
And that was one of the things that Mike talked to us about at seminar, was I'm trying to become more consistent. Really, the points of emphasis with illegal contact and defensive holding on the outside, it's the NFL's movement towards trying to become more consistent with these calls.
Before the Ryan Allen punt, play is blown dead.
The ball had not been made ready for play.
And that's a big deal for Doug Marrone winning that also. Kenny he gets his timeout back, and now with 2 minutes and some change, he's going to have 3 timeouts and plenty of time on the clock to try get in field goal range or scoring range.
McKelvin at the 22. 4-yard return by McKelvin, 55-yard punt by Allen. Well, tonight, baseball game 2 of the NLCS. Giants attempt to take a 2-0 lead. Cardinals hope to even things up. Coverage begins after football, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tremendous performance by Madison Bumgarner last night. Giants win game 1, 3-0. 5.5 hours away from game 2 on Fox Sports 1. Here in Orchard Park, Bills and Patriots tied at 7. Late second quarter. Second start as a Bill for Kyle Orton. From the 26, Orton goes down, loses the football, and the Patriots have recovered.
Chandler Jones. Just well done. We saw Jerry Hughes on the tackle of Tom Brady. Tom was able to hold on to this. Chandler Jones on this side is going to work against Cordy Glenn. Now he's going to beat him. He's going to get that swat too, but he's going to knock the ball loose and then get the recovery.
Nice job of turning the corner on him and attacking the ball.
So Chandler Jones, who was born in Rochester, New York, grew up in Endicott, played for Doug Marrone at Syracuse, with the sack, the forced fumble, and the recovery. So now the Patriots with 2:09 remaining in the half. Start from the Bills 24. Ridley. Nigel Bradham made the tackle as we hit the 2-minute warning here in Orchard Park. Tied at 7, and now the Patriots look to capitalize following the turnover. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Bills +6. Turnover ratio coming into the game -2 today, and the Patriots look to capitalize. This is LaFell. There is a flag.
I think this is going to count. I think Jerry Hughes jumped that snap and was a little bit early off the edge.
Fouls on both teams. Offside, 55, defense. Holding, number 61. Offense, those penalties offset.
Jerry Hughes and Marcus Cannon. Cannon part of that revamped Patriots offensive line.
Well, you come into the game and you're going to lose Brian Stork as your center, and it was really kind of solidified last week against Cincinnati. They go over 200 yards rushing, almost 300 yards passing, kind of that old Patriot offense that we've seen. Everybody's excited that you finally got a 5 that you like, and he's down today, and all of a sudden you've got Ryan Wendell that moves to center. Josh Klein goes into guard. Then you lose Dan Connolly during the course of this first half, and you've got to add Jordan DeVee in there. So we got to pay this Patriot offensive line off, that interior group. We have not called Kyle Williams and Marcel Darius. We have not called their names much this first half.
Second and 10 following the offsetting penalties. And Brady's pass is nearly picked off. He was looking for LaFell. Kel Roby on the coverage.
This is fantastic preparation. Trust your instincts. Nickel Roby jumps this. Watch 37. You're going to have that little bubble screen as he goes back. Brandon LaFell does a nice job turning into the defender on that one.
If he keeps his head back inside and sees that ball instead of running into the receiver, he would have had that and still been running.
Remember, the Patriots will get the ball to start the second half as well. They won the opening toss and deferred. Third down and 10. Brady pulls it in and then throws it into the ground.
there's one of the guys that we were just talking about, Marcel Darius, who had just a monster game last week. Big number 99, 3 sacks against the Lions, pushing that pile, and then retracing, spinning out. Mario Williams,
They're doing
pressure
a great
from the
job
DN.
of just collapsing the whole pocket.
So now Gostkowski, who missed earlier, and remember, Alex Henry of the Lions, formerly of the Lions now, 0 for 3 against the Bills last week. So the last 4 field goal attempts against Buffalo have been no good. This a 42-yard attempt. And Gostkowski's kick is just inside the left upright. So the Patriots regain the lead. New England has scored all 10 of their points following the 2 Buffalo turnovers. Gostkowski connecting from 42. What's coming up on the Visa Halftime Report? We check in with Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we've got all your early highlights, including Peyton Manning off to a slow start for the Broncos against the Jets, and Joe Flacco off to a crazy hot start in Tampa Bay. It all comes your way as we get started when we come back with the Visa Halftime.
All right, we look forward to it, Kurt. Orton picked off earlier, sacked by Chandler Jones, lost the football. Patriots kick a field goal, now lead by 3.
That's one of the most impressive things about the Patriots on this run with, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and what they've been able to accomplish as head coach and quarterback together. You get into a situation like this, a hostile environment, division rivalry, and here's the team on the upswing. Here's some questions about you, the team that's dominated the AFC East for so long. And you come into this game with a lot of matchup issues, and the Patriots 10-7 leading with 1:43 to go. They always seem to find a way. They manage the game very, very well. Play by Chandler Jones, just a great example. Buffalo's got the momentum. They come out as an offense, and he makes the big takeaway to get some more points.
Brady, 10 of 17, touchdown pass to Tim Wright. Orton, 8 of 13 with a touchdown, but he has turned the ball over twice. 1 pick, 1 fumble. So now the Bills with 1:43 on the clock and 3 timeouts. Orton sets up the screen on first down as Jackson spins away from Wilfork, but then is brought down at the 19, so he loses a yard.
And let's not forget, this whole first half, Darrelle Revis has been matched up with Sammy Watkins, and whether it's, one-on-one to the single receiver side, coming out of bunch packages, he's really, really won the battle in this first half. Has shut down Sammy Watkins. Here they are matched up down at the bottom.
Watkins had a big day against Detroit last week. 7 receptions, nothing so far today. This pass intended for Goodwin with Kyle Arrington defending.
And when you've got somebody like Marquise Goodwin that can take the top off the coverage, he's on the outside, number 88, extremely fast, very fast. And you see a nice job right there on the release by Kyle Arrington. When you've got speed, disrupt that speed. But because Darrelle Revis is one-on-one locked down on the other side of the field, we're going to roll that safety over the top to prevent that speed getting behind us.
3rd down and 11.
I don't think from down here on the field, standing behind Kyle Orton, all game that I haven't seen him even look Darrelle Revis' way.
Bills must get to the 30. Orton in trouble. Down he goes. It's his college teammate, his good friend, Rob Ninkovich, who brings down Orton. And now the Patriots will get the ball back with under a minute remaining.
Good coverage by the Patriots on this one. It's initially Vince Wilfork that creates the disruption in the pocket and gets Kyle Orton on the move. But I'm gonna chalk that one up to the linebackers in the secondary for the Patriots, because there was nobody open right away for Kyle Orton on that play.
Well, Ninkovich with the sack. Orton once threw a touchdown pass to Ninkovich while teammates at Purdue against Notre Dame.
Again, Kenny.
Where you find this stuff is unbelievable. Where did you find that at?
I won't tell the viewers, Goose, that you gave it to me.
Yeah, okay.
I won't let them in on our little secret. Patriots have used the timeout. They have added some time back on the clock. So 1:04 remaining, second quarter. And New England.
Well, they were on the. You just saw Kyle Orton sitting next to Sammy Watkins on the bench, and I agree with Tony. I don't know how often he's looked his direction this afternoon.
Well, the Patriots get the ball back. This is Edelman. Edelman out to the 42. 52 seconds remaining. One timeout. 52-yard punt. Another opportunity here for Brady and his offense. So again, as far as the offensive line is concerned, they went with their fourth different starting combination, with Klein making the start at right guard, but then they lose Conley. They're already without their center Stork. So wholesale changes once again throughout this first half. Patriots lead 10-7, all 10 points coming off Bills turnovers. Screen on first down to Vereen. And Shane Vereen takes it out to the 45 for a gain of 3. Second down and 7. Patriots with one timeout. Pass intended for Gronkowski. Clock stops with 30 seconds.
Just a little off on the timing right there. Rob Gronkowski not getting that head turned around.
Fans rise to their feet. Third down and 7. They must get to the Buffalo 48. Brady down, back at the 39-yard line.
They did a nice job throughout the first half, but in this situation right here, I think something that the Bills fans have been wanting to know, why isn't this happening? You know, let's take a look at our two inside guys. How come we're not collapsing that pocket? And here comes Marcel Darius. He's pushing it that way. Kyle Williams wraps around. But the interior, Tony, has to come out in the second half and start to establish the line of scrimmage for the Buffalo Bills to get back in this game. There's a matchup in there that they should be taking more advantage of.
Yeah, I think that they're doing a pretty good job of pushing the middle of the pocket. You see Tom Brady is very reluctant to go and step up in the pocket and use the whole thing, and it's making it easier for those defensive ends to come around the corner like we've been seeing and get pressure and swipe at the ball a little bit. So I think they're, right now, as a defensive line, they're working good as a unit. But yes, they could be doing a little bit better on the inside. One thing that's really surprised to me is, you know, when they're lined up inside, sometimes they're running some games, and I don't think they need to do that. You run games inside its defensive line when you don't think you can win those one-on-ones. I think these guys are good enough to go and just play it straight.
Allen's punt out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So now the Bills with 14 seconds and 2 timeouts, only a 32-yard punt.
Go deep to Sammy. What do you think, Darryl?
Well, because of the punt, you know, all of a sudden you may rethink what you were going to do here. You know, you've got to gain, you know, upwards about 30-35 yards in 14 seconds. You don't want something disastrous to happen. You know, at 10-7 right now, not playing well with the turnovers, I might just, you know, call something conservative, hand the ball off, and get in at halftime.
Third and final team timeout. New England, 30 seconds.
Patriots use their final timeout. Goose, we saw Watkins split wide to the right, matched up with Revis prior to the timeout. We were scoreless through one quarter, then the shove by Duke Williams, 29-yard penalty, setting up the Patriots touchdown. Brady hitting Tim Wright in the corner of the end zone, 7-0 New England. And then Orton to Robert Woods, tying the game, a 10-play, 67-yard drive. And then the field goal, Gostkowski, as the Patriots have regained the lead.
Yeah, and the field goal came off the sack fumble by Chandler Jones. So in this situation right here, you know, that's going to be my memory right now. It's 10-7. We haven't played well. We've had 2 turnovers. We've had issues on our own that have helped New England out right here. I might just, with 14 seconds, let's just get in the locker room.
Hand off to Spiller. And C.J. Spiller takes it out to the 45, and then he fumbled. And it's recovered by Zach Moore of New England.
But if you're going to play it that way, your running back has to hold on to the football.
I'm standing here near the end zone. Rob Gronkowski ran into the locker room thinking that the offense was not going to get the ball back. He's in the locker room right now. If this is a turnover, let's see if he gets out.
Oh, it's a turnover. It's out, Goose.
But Gronkowski's not.
Yeah, he's in the locker room right now.
The recovery by the 6th round pick, rookie Zach Moore. Spiller gained 15 before he was stripped. So it's the 3rd Bills turnover. 6 seconds on the clock.
And that's that danger zone, Kenny. 6 seconds is that's about the time necessary to advance the ball a little bit down the field. Quickly get out of bounds, get the completion. Take a few yards off that, make it a little bit easier for your field goal kicker. So they're right on the cusp of that. They're going to have to be very, very efficient here with this play and execute it properly if they're going to be able to get an opportunity for a field goal attempt.
They have to get out of bounds, no timeouts. And this play blown dead. Bills have used the timeout.
Second team timeout. Buffalo, 30-second timeout.
So 6 seconds remaining in the first half. There is Gostkowski, who is 1 for 2 today, but the Bills' turnovers have led to all 10 of the New England points, and they've coughed it up once again.
And very uncharacteristic. They came into the game, one of the teams tied for the NFL lead in turnover ratio at +6, and have been sloppy here in the first half. And I agree with the decision there to be conservative, but C.J. Spiller has to understand what the most important thing is. Hey, this is our decision. We're not going to be aggressive. We're going to get into halftime, make our adjustments, but you've got to hold on to that football, and you're giving Tom Brady an opportunity for more points.
Brady to the outside. Good job by Edelman. As he makes the catch, steps out of bounds at the 35. So this will be a 53-yard attempt.
There's that execution we talked about. They did it in 3 seconds. That's impressive. And you've got no timeouts, like you said, Kenny, so it has to be executed with a way to get out of bounds.
Give our team an opportunity to get 3 more points.
Furlong is 54. This is a 53-yard attempt from the left hash. He's 1 for 2 today. Ball is placed down, and the kick from 53 yards out is good. So Gostkowski connects from long range for the 3rd time. The Patriots able to capitalize on a Bills turnover. They lead by 6 at the half. Time for the Visa halftime report. Kurt, take it away.
Reset the tone. Nothing more, nothing less.
Brady lobs it up. Touchdown, Tim Wright. Orton fires and touchdown. Patriots lead the Bills 13-7 as we get set for the start of the second half. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. The Patriots have scored all 13 of their points off 3 Bills turnovers.
When you're trying to win a game, Kenny, the first order of business, don't beat yourself. And in the first half, Doug Marrone and his team were guilty of that, and Bill Belichick and the Patriots took advantage of that. I mean, they've got issues. You're coming in an emotional environment, and they do all the right things. The Bills, too many mistakes in that first half. Let's see if they can get it cleaned up here in the second.
Patriots only 101 yards of offense, but they lead by 6. Patriots will start at their 20 as we begin the second half, Goose.
Thanks, Kenny. You know, I got a chance to talk to Doug Marrone. He's exactly what you guys are saying. He says we can't beat ourselves. All the turnovers, that's how they went and scored all their points. He's happy the way the defense is playing. They're putting a lot of pressure. One thing offensively is we got to change up some of our protections and try and give Kyle Orton a little bit more time to look downfield and get to our receivers. Other than that, we're okay right now. We just can't beat ourselves, just like Moose just said.
All right, thanks, Goose. Patriots start from the 20-yard line. Brady on first down. Pass is caught by Aaron Dobson. That's his third reception of the season. And Dobson gains 9 out to the 29-yard line.
I like their play calls in the first down areas so far today. They're aggressive with it. They started the game the same way. To me, it's the best down to be aggressive in the NFL.
And now Ridley picks up a first down, dragging the former Patriot Brandon Spikes with him. So a new set of downs for the Patriots.
You know, the way that defensive ends play for the Buffalo Bills, as wide as they play, you would think that they wouldn't be able to go and challenge that corner that we've been seeing right now from the New England Patriots.
Big tilt right there. You see some of the dividends paid off for the New England Patriots with their play calling on first down.
Brady rolling right. Catch is made by Edelman. Tiptoes up the sidelines out to the 44 for a gain of 5.
You know, Tony, but one of the things you do when you have somebody like Jerry Hughes at that defensive end, very athletic, very quick, is you never want to run away from him because he's going to chase you down with his athleticism. So let's go straight at him. Let's go challenge him. One thing that a defensive end like Jerry Hughes is not going to like is big bodies in his face.
Ridley.
Right now, looking at this offense, everything is real fast. They're getting the ball out of Tom's hands quick on short passes, runs. You don't see Tom's trying to sit in the pocket. I think that's one way that this New England team could go and keep progressing down the field is by those short passes. Don't give those defensive linemen for the Buffalo Bills a lot of time to go and get pressure on top.
Patriots empty the backfield. Kareem split wide to the right. Third down and 4. Lopin prior to the snap. False start, New England.
False start, number 17. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
There's the wide receiver, Dobson.
I think that's attributed to the crowd noise here in the stadium. He's in motion behind him, and he just got to look down at the ball. Darryl mentioned it earlier. This stadium is very happy with the new manager and the new ownership. And the day today, it's a beautiful day down here, guys. We're missing it being up in that box.
I guess the Patriots have won 12 of their last 14 there at Orchard Park. Brady on 3rd and 9. It's LaFell who picks up a first down and more. Takes it to the Bills 43. So the former Carolina Panther, Brandon LaFell, gains 17.
But 3 receivers to the left side, have them clear out, and then bring Brandon LaFell on that shallow cross from the opposite side.
Off the fake to Ridley. Brady going deep. And a diving catch is made for a touchdown by Brian Timms.
Who says Tom Brady's losing some of his accuracy? This is thrown into triple coverage, and you cannot make a better throw. There's the big play action, back in the pocket. You've got one single vertical route down the field, but look, there's double coverage, and now we've got help coming in from the other side. Look at the area that he has to work with, and he drops it right in. And that's defended well.
McKelvin looked like he just stopped on the coverage.
Stephon Gilmore's got his hand in there.
The previous play will be reviewed.
All scoring plays are reviewed, so Walt Coleman will take a look. First NFL touchdown reception for Timms, who was just activated this week, coming off a suspension.
this opening second half drive with the great throw by Tom Brady and that field goal they stole at the end of the first half. Now remember, go back to the Calvin Johnson play a couple years ago. You know, this reminds me of Butch Johnson in the Super Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys. So let's go through the whole process. Possession. Now you have to maintain possession all the way through the process of the catch as you go to the ground. It sure looks like Brian Timms has got all the requirements for that to be a touchdown.
Timms out of Florida A&M, played in 7 games for the Browns last year. Has also spent some time with the Dolphins and 49ers. Certainly looks like the call on the field of touchdown should stand.
Yeah, look at Stephon Gilmore. He's got his arm right in there, and he just can't pull it and separate Brian Timms from the ball.
I still think number 21, Leotis McKelvin, if he would have just kept running on that play, the ball might have hit him right in the back, but he just started jogging.
After
And
the
he was out
play,
of it.
running on the field stands, touchdown.
So it is a touchdown, a 43-yard connection from Tom Brady to Brian Timms for his first NFL score. And now the Patriots will go for 2. Brady perfect on the drive, 4 of 4, 74 yards. So the Patriots, who gained only 101 yards in the first half, drive 80 yards for the touchdown.
And I don't agree with this. I think you're going to the 2-point play a little bit early. You tend to chase it after that point. I think you continue to play it straight, kick the extra point here, and then when it becomes a necessity, if so in the fourth quarter, then do it.
First time New England will go for 2 this season. They lead by 12. Penalty flags.
That's on Klein.
False start, number 67, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, so now the kicking team is coming out. But I did not like that decision. I think sometimes coaches go to that 2-point play way too early to try and get back on track. And to me, you know, if I'm a head coach, I'm going to put it in a box, lock it up, and tell somebody, don't open that box until there's about 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Then we'll start thinking about that 2-point play scenario.
The only thing they really had in their side was the momentum. Right now, you know, they're fired up. They just scored, big play.
So now following the penalty, this the equivalent of a 25-yard field goal. Gostkowski's kick is good, so it is a 13-point New England Patriots lead. Timms celebrates his first NFL touchdown. Well, Darrell, I know you were excited to return home this weekend. Member of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, Western New York Player of the Year back in 1983, and you've told us you were named after the Mad Bomber, right? Darrell Lamonica.
Yes, yeah. Drop the E, though. You dropped the E.
No E. Welcome home.
Great to be home. Great to see friends and family.
Yeah, we haven't been here in a while. Actually, this is the first AFC game that Fox has had ever.
That's right, 21 years, Goose. AFC East rivalry that has been lopsided in recent years. Patriots have won 5 straight, 20 of their last 21 against the Bills. Patriots have scored 13 points in the last 4 minutes, 13 seconds. Game was tied at 7 late in the second quarter. Here's Orton to the outside. There is a flag. It's Robert Woods. We'll check in once again with Walt Coleman.
Illegal use of the hands, number 37, defense. That penalty declined. Play results in the first down.
Alfonso Dennard.
Working on the outside with Robert Woods.
That hand to the helmet right there, the face mask, just can't do it anymore. They're going to call anything even close.
Now, it looked like Woods was shy of the 30. Walt Coleman said the play results in a first down. They've moved the chains, but he looked to be about a yard shy.
The ball is short. It was not a first down.
Keep him honest, Kenny.
He heard you, Kenny.
So it will be second and short as they reposition the markers.
Penalty will be declined. Second and short.
Second and 1 for the Bills. They trail by 13. Battle for first place in the AFC East. Both teams at 3 and 2. Now the Bills pick up a first down. C.J. Spiller out to the 31.
Again, we talked about the matchup with Darrelle Revis and Sammy Watkins in this game, and it may be time to go test that. You kind of gave that a hall pass the entire first half. Let's see if Darrelle Revis is up to the task here. He's working against a young guy who has a lot of respect for, but if he's your big playmaker, you need a big play right now.
Bills keep it on the ground. It's Jackson. Out to the 37. Time for a game break to Los Angeles. Joel Klatt. Joel.
All right, Kenny, let's head down to Miami, where Ryan Tannehill is going to find his rookie wide receiver, Jarvis Landry, 11 yards for the score. We got a 10-10 ball game. Green Bay is driving. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Thanks, Joel. Dolphins at 2-2. Just behind both of these teams in the AFC East. Jackson out to the 39. So it will be third down and 2.
One of the more interesting things that we came across this week, and if you look around the AFC East with the teams, you got to be able to block the big guys inside. And one of the guys in that discussion is Vince Wilfork. All the teams in the AFC East have those big bodies in the defensive tackle position. And for the New England Patriots, if you can't get number 75 blocked inside, you're going to have a tough time running the football.
Third and 2. He throws and the catch is made for a first down by Woods. And Woods takes it into Patriots territory, marked out at the 48-yard line.
Well, it's frustrating for a young receiver like Sammy Watkins to be taken out of the game by Darrelle Revis, but you stay with it. You do whatever you can. I want you to watch the block he makes at the end of this run. He allows Robert Woods to get more yards down the field. Just turns inside, gets a nice little block on Darrelle Revis, allows that sideline to open up.
From the 48, it's Jackson. Not much. Casey Walker, first Patriot. And on the tackle.
Yeah, you're talking about Sammy Watkins. I've been watching the last couple of plays. There's a battle going on out there between him and Darrelle Revis. You know, even though the ball's not coming his way, he's making it, Darrelle Revis go and turn and downfield and then hitting them. And pretty fun to watch down here, these two guys compete.
Revis did a terrific job against A.J. Green of the Bengals last Sunday.
55 to Mike. 280.
On second and 10, it's Dixon. And this time it is Patrick Chung coming up to make the tackle.
Boobie Dixon's just got to drop. He's got to drop the hammer on Patrick Chung. He's not the agile-footed, make you miss type runner. He's out there for a specific reason, and that's to run physically in between the tackles. And if you've got an unblocked guy in your gap, then you got to lower your shoulder and try and run through him.
Nothing worse than a power run and trying to do a little shake and bakes.
Now third down and 11. Bills must get for the Patriots 38. Play clock winding down. Bills get the snap away. Orton with time. He throws. And again, it is Chandler. Scott Chandler continues to make big plays for the Bills on offense.
Someone from the opposite side working against Tavon Wilson. Gets real vertical on the step. Tavon Wilson's in a good position. What a nice throw by Kyle Orton right there. And a heck of a catch. Finish it. He did it with one hand. I don't even think he got his right arm on that one.
22-yard pass play, so 5 receptions for Chandler. 4 of the 5 have been for first downs. Jackson up the middle, inside the Patriots 25.
Seems to be a matchup that they've gone back to. They like that. Scott Chandler versus a safety. You see right there the production that he's had.
Second down and 6. Orton throws. It's Watkins. His first reception today.
There you go, Darrell.
At a critical time too, Tony. You know, and I think when you get into some of these lockdown situations, I just like some offensive coordinators will go with the idea that, listen, Darrelle Revis is so good at what he does, a lot of people won't come his way. You know what? Let's come out and find out how he's doing. Let's test him. And there's Darrelle Revis expecting an inside break, and when you have the ability to just study one guy all week long in your preparation, you can find subtleties. Looks like Sammy Watkins threw him off balance right there with that outside move with an inside lean.
Yeah, Kyle Orton did a nice job putting the spot where Darrell couldn't even get to it.
On first and goal, it is Jackson, and Patrick Chung comes up and makes the play.
Nice job by Chung, not showing it early. Here comes Kyle Orton, has no idea he's there. Nice tackle for a loss.
Loss of 4 on the play, Goose. Now second and goal from the 7. Orton has completed 4 straight, 7 of his last 8 pass attempts. 12th play of the drive for the Bills. Orton throws, and it's taken down to the 1 by Chris Hogan. His 3rd catch of the season. Devin McCourty made the tackle, so now 3rd and goal from the 1 for the Bills, who trail by 13.
Nice blitz pickup by Fred Jackson. And you talk about his production in the passing game, but you also have to be able to pick up blitzers and be able to block outside linebackers in protection, and that was a nice job giving Kyle Orton the time to be able to make that throw.
Bills send in some big bodies. Chris Hairston, an extra blocker. Smith, the tight end. Summers, the fullback. On 3rd and goal, this is Jackson. No signal yet. He's in. Touchdown.
This is a specialty area on the field. You get into short yardage goal line. You want to get away from Vince Wilfork, so you load it up with your big boys on the left side, away from big number 75, and just push the pile.
First rushing touchdown of the season for the 8-year vet, Fred Jackson.
One thing you got to do when those big boys come up there on the defense is stay low. That's something they didn't. Jones got caught high and driven into the line, into the end zone there.
Here's Carpenter for the extra point. 13 plays, 80 yards, and the first rushing touchdown by a Buffalo Bills running back this season. Fred Jackson with the Bills touchdown, back-to-back 80-yard drives. First the Patriots, and now the Bills, as Buffalo pulls to within 6.
And the big thing on that series, getting Sammy Watkins involved in the game plan. We'll see if they come back his way here the rest of the game, working against Darrelle Revis.
Short kickoff by the kickoff specialist, Jordan Kay. Taken out by Patrick Chung. Fred Jackson celebrates. Bills trail by 6. Over 70,000 on their feet in Orchard Park for the Bills. Their first game under the new ownership group, Terry and Kim Pegula. 6-point New England Patriots lead. Patriots start from their 22-yard line as Brady connects with Gronkowski in Bills territory to the Buffalo 45.
And one of the things New England has been able to do all afternoon is answer this crowd when the Bills have been on the precipice of stealing the emotion. And in this way, it's two tight ends. You've got Gronkowski and you've got Ho'o Manawanui on the field. And then all of a sudden, that formation opens up and they're going vertical. You get Gronkowski one-on-one on the outside.
33-yard connection. Now Brady hands it off to Ridley. And Ridley gains 1 to the Bills' 44.
We talked about it at the top, Kenny, you know, how excited this area, the state has been about this game. The history of the rivalry, the Pegulas taking over as owners, and it's been buzzing all weekend long. And now, you know, here the game is sitting there and an opportunity for the Bills to really come out and make a play. And it's the Patriots that make the big play in that situation.
Second down and 9. LaFell in the slot. Ridley in the backfield. Brady looking for Gronkowski again, a diving attempt, and there is a flag. Gronkowski shaken up.
Let's see what happens to the end. This is on the outside.
Number 27. Defense.
That's Duke Williams again. He was flagged for that 29-yard penalty, which set up the first New England score.
He's just not getting his head around. He's got contact there. I think if you get your head around to try and locate the ball, you may not get that called against you. But because Duke Williams didn't get his head around, he's got his arm on Gronkowski. Doesn't look like a lot. That's why if you've got that head around, you might get it. And Gronkowski landed awkwardly, and he was reaching for his leg at the end of that play. And this has been such a valuable personnel group for the Patriots offense.
I don't know. A little bit of hand fighting there. I sort of would have let that go a little bit, Darryl. I don't think there was enough there to call. See Gronkowski going, falling down. Let's give you guys a head up. Number 57 for the Bills, Ty Powell. Right ankle probable. He went into the locker room.
Well, that's great right there to see him walking off the field because he went to the leg immediately. Looks like they're going up onto the sleeve there on the elbow.
Following the penalty, new set of downs for the Patriots. This is Ridley, and he is cut down back at the 29-yard line. He was ruled. Let's see. Was he rolled down? He was.
I heard the whistle blow, Kenny.
Now it's taken all the way back, but the whistle did blow.
That's smart by Jerry Hughes, though. Take it all the way back and let them make the decision on whether it was a turnover or not.
And now we got Stephen Ridley down after that play as well.
Down by contact.
Ridley was ruled down by contact. So first the Patriots lose Gronkowski, and now Ridley tended to by the New England medical staff. Now remember, the Patriots have to play again in 4 days against the Jets on Thursday night. Stephen Ridley, the injured Patriot, off on the sidelines. We take one more look.
And number one, he's going to be down because of the forearm, so he's down right there, so that negates the fumble. But now more of a concern is the injury to Stephen Ridley, and just an all-around complete running back for the Patriots. And you can see the frustration on the bench, very similar to what we saw with Gerard Mayo. He knows it was a serious injury.
The good news for New England, Gronkowski back on the field. Second down and 12. The catch is made by Edelman at the Bills' 22-yard line. Gain of 7. Third down and 5. Gronkowski remains in. Empty backfield. There's Gronkowski. Patriots must get to the 17 for a first down. And they do not. Pass intended for Shane Vereen. Preston Brown on the coverage. So Bill Belichick will send out the field goal unit. Gostkowski 2 for 3 today. Missed his first opportunity. This a 40-yard attempt from the right hash. Kick is straight through. Gostkowski 3 for 4. And the Patriots extend their lead to 9. So Belichick has lost 2 key starters. Linebacker Gerard Mayo is out. Left guard Dan Connolly questionable, and there is Stephen Ridley, who was hurt on that last Patriots possession.
Yeah, and we don't know what his status is right now. I'd be surprised to see him today. And then Rob Gronkowski came back in, but he's definitely not 100%. I watched him on that last play.
Kickoff is taken out by Spiller. Spiller across the 30, finally forced out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Big return by Spiller. Well, annual screening saves lives. Help finish the fight against breast cancer by visiting NFL.com/pink to celebrate the NFL and American Cancer Society's first ever A Crucial Catch Day on October 25th. Here in Buffalo, the Bills partnering with ECMC, continuing their mission to raise awareness in the battle against breast cancer with the 9th annual Believe event. That was this past Friday. Best starting field position of the day for the Bills. From their 33-yard line. Orton in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 22-yard line. Deontay Skinner. A rookie out of Mississippi State with his first sack of the season.
Yeah, and you're trying to get Watkins over the top. It's something we talked about. So they are going to try and stretch it vertically, but to do that, you've got to hold the ball, and protection didn't hold up.
Tell you what, Skinner comes right up the middle. Kyle Orton seen him coming. Just couldn't get out of the way. He's got another gear, Skinner. Oof.
Third sack for the Patriots. Skinner started today's game for the injured Dante Hightower. Play clock winding down. Second down and 20. It's Chandler. Who else? Chandler out across the 40. Time for a game break with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
All right, on the other side of Lake Erie, the Cleveland Browns are rolling over the Steelers. Ben Tate, second touchdown of the game. Yes, they lead it 31-3 in the fourth quarter. Getting loose and goose.
Thanks, Kurt. And that rivalry in recent years just about as lopsided as this one.
Yeah, Roethlisberger 18-1 over his last 19 against the Browns.
And Brady 22-2 against the Bills. We're down at 2. Orton to the outside. It's Robert Woods. A first down and more. 2 penalty markers. And now another. So multiple flags on the field.
You don't have to make contact on these plays. They're designed if you just go down there and be like a basketball player. But we see so many receivers and guys on the outside initiate contact.
Pass interference, number 14, offense. 10-yard penalty, still third down.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go back on that one and say he tried to avoid him. He tried to get vertical. Normally, when you see that contact at the beginning, it's definitive. But at that one, in my opinion, Sammy Watkins came down to do that, to set that pick, and then released vertically, and that looked more incidental to me.
Yeah, he looked like he stopped before he hit him. Defender ran into him.
So the penalty on Watkins forces the Bills back 10 yards. Now third down and 12. Bills must get to the 43. Orton sets and throws, and the catch is made for a first down, taken to the Patriots 45 by Hogan, and there is a flag. Chris Hogan makes the catch, gains 23. And we'll check in once again with Walt Coleman.
Personal foul, Gresham in the face mask, number 30.
think this is one of the reasons that Doug Marrone made the switch at quarterback. He evaluated everything, and it was all based on who gives us the best opportunity to win. That type of throw right there by Kyle Orton, the middle of the field. When you looked at E.J. Manuel, it was checked down, sideline routes. The middle of the field was not being utilized as much as Kyle Orton uses it.
1st and 10 from the Patriots 30. Orton looking for Watkins. Out of bounds.
You can see why Darrelle Revis has a lot of respect for Sammy Watkins. This is really well done. Just a little bit too far outside, but that back shoulder fade, just can't get that first foot down inbounds. Amazing he got the second one down.
Second and 10. Orton on second now. There is a flag. Pass incomplete, caught out of bounds by Woods. This one's against the Bills.
Again, these are all points of emphasis coming into the season this year. Going back to the Sammy Watkins play, that's something that they were looking at as well. See if Robert Woods pushes off at the top of this to create the separation. Very subtle. I don't agree with it.
There are 2 fouls on the offense. Illegal formation, that penalty's declined. Pass interference, number 10 offense, that penalty will be accepted. 10 yards, second down.
If it's offensive pass interference, you're using that to create separation, and I didn't see Robert Woods create separation from Alfonso Dennard in that situation. It was more that just, you know, as you're breaking down, you're regaining your balance with your hands on the defensive player. 2 tough calls on offensive pass interference on this drive against the Bills.
So now it is second down and 20. Half minute remaining, 3rd quarter. Orton on second and long. Again looking for Woods.
And this is a tough situation right here, Kenny, because you're 3rd and long, you're 3rd and 20 in this situation, but you're on the cusp of the opportunity for a field goal attempt. So, you know, that battle of points versus first downs. Interested to see what the play call for Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator for the Bills, is in this situation.
It's 3rd down and 20 for Kyle Orton and the Bills. Orton in trouble. It's Ninkovich again. His 2nd sack against his college teammate.
The one thing he really couldn't do in that situation was take the sack, because now it really eliminates any opportunity for points in that situation.
He had Robert Woods on the outside one-on-one, but decided not to go and throw that ball.
Just rushing 3, Tony.
Yeah.
And we asked Orton about Ninkovich yesterday. He said, great guy, great teammate. Well, he sacked Kyle Orton twice here today. 3rd quarter comes to an end at Orchard Park. These franchises have been going at it since 1960. First game in the history of the American Football League, a preseason game in Buffalo, War Memorial Stadium, Bills and Patriots. First ever win for the Bills was in Boston over the Patriots that September in the regular season. First ever playoff game for both franchises, 1963, Bills and Patriots. New England leading this game by 9 as we start the 4th quarter. Hogan attempted to keep it out of the end zone, could not. Well, it's been a rough day physically for Bill Belichick's Patriots. Mayo, Connolly, Ridley all ruled out.
As you pointed out, Kenny, a short week for the Patriots as they play on Thursday night.
They'll host the Jets in Foxborough. Patriots have scored on their last 3 possessions. A touchdown and 2 field goals. backfield. First and 10, 20-yard line. As Vereen is bottled up by his former teammate, Brandon Spikes, who helps him up. Spikes, second-round pick of the Patriots back in 2010, started 40 games for New England.
Yeah, and, you know, it's so strange today in the NFL. A lot of times you see people leave a team, they go to the rival within the division, and that's what happened with Brandon Spikes this year. But still a lot of respect for the Patriot organization. Did not leave on the greatest of terms, but still a lot of respect for his old teammates.
Second and 10. Off the fake to Brandon Bolden. Wobbly pass, and it's caught by Edelman for a first down. And Brady took a hit from Kyle Williams.
Yeah, but watch on the top of your screen, just a little extra push by Sebastian Vollmer right there just to get Mario Williams by. Kyle Williams is coming up the front, but just that little shove allows Tom to step up and make this throw.
A little shove changes the whole angle for a defensive end.
17 yards from Brady to Edelman. Bolden in the backfield. And this is Brandon Bolden. In for the injured Ridley. Bradham makes the tackle. Early fourth quarter at Orchard Park. New ownership, Terry and Kim Pagula. Approved earlier this week at the NFL owners meetings. And their Bills trail the Patriots by 9. Vereen returns. Second down and 9. Brady's pass caught. Taken out to the 43-yard line by Edelman. It's his 7th reception today, and there is a flag.
Personal foul, rubbing the passer. Number 55, defense hit the quarterback low. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
That's the second personal foul assessed to Jerry Hughes today.
Yeah, he had one early in the game that we, didn't really agree with all that much. Now, the bad thing about the NFL is you're responsible for control of your body. And you may be being shoved to the ground into the quarterback, but it's still your responsibility for where you land.
That's pretty tough when you're going and you're coming forward and the offensive lineman's guiding you where you're going. Sometimes you just got to take that one.
Shows the former defensive lineman. Brady on first down to the outside. It's Edelman again. Picks up some extra yardage down to the 33. Gain of 9. So Julian Edelman now with 8 receptions today, 71 yards.
Just the efficiency of this offense. And we started the game with the offensive line with some changes. The injury to Dan Connolly impacted that even more, but they haven't given up on the run. They've stayed with it. They've done a nice job with their short passing game.
And this is Bolden on 2nd and 1.
I don't agree with that spot. I thought he was across the line of scrimmage and then got hit backwards. I don't know.
This is a big 3rd and short right here.
Yeah, huge.
Bolden in the backfield along with the fullback Devlin. It's Brady. How about his career percentage on quarterback keepers? He's now 93 of 99. He's converted 93 out of 99 for first downs in his career.
I think it's amazing, and they're not always like this. It's not always just putting your head down and getting behind your center. Sometimes you'll see him kind of slide to the right side or the left side. He's got a really good feel of how that play needs to be run. There's an art to it, and Tom Brady is one of the best I've seen at the quarterback sneak.
2 tight ends, both split to the right. From the 29-yard line on first down, it's Bolden. Bolden able to gain 4. Again, Bradham makes the tackle. Brandon Bolden takes it to the Bills' 24-yard line with just over 11 minutes remaining. 4th quarter, here at Orchard Park.
You're right, Darryl. They'll just keep challenging that middle of the Buffalo Bills defense.
They're not shying away from it, Tony. Those guys are really doing a good job. It was a matchup we thought was tilted in the Bills' favor, but the Patriot center guard area has played well.
Nice play at the drive. Bolden cuts to the outside and is finally brought down by Keith Rivers at the 16-yard line, a gain of 8. So Bolden in for the injured Ridley, doing a nice job here in the fourth quarter.
A good hustle by Keith Rivers right there, because Brandon Bolden had made the cut inside. I think he's going to regain his balance, and he's on his way to the end zone if Keith Rivers is not pursuing that play from behind.
First and 10 from the Bills' 16-yard line as Bolden slips and loses a couple. Second down and 12. Gronkowski split wide to the right. McFarland element to the left. Brady looking for Gronkowski, makes the catch. A spectacular effort by Gronkowski for a Patriots touchdown.
He does an excellent job of using his body just to shield the defender.
Now there is a flag, Goose. And it looks like it's coming back.
Holding, number 65, offense. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, we've seen him matched up against Duke Williams the majority of the day as safety. This time they try to get Leotis McKelvin on him a corner, and that's a mismatch from the size standpoint. Good placement by Tom Brady, and here's your hold. Marcel Darius.
Well, Jordan Devey, who did not start the game, is the guilty Patriot. So now New England forced back to the 29-yard line. There's Devey. Second down and 22. Gronkowski on the screen. Gronkowski to the Bills' 18-yard line. Gain of 10.
I like that play call with a long down and distance on second down. Let's get a nice chunk back, put us in a more manageable third down situation. And just the versatility of Rob Gronkowski. We saw him working one-on-one against safeties and corners on the outside, but then the physicality to be able to get in that screen and come back to the middle of the field.
Fifth reception for Gronkowski. Now third down and 12. Patriots must get to the 6 for a first down. Brady over the middle. It is Brandon LaFell. He's in for a Patriots touchdown. On third and 12, Brady to LaFell, 17 yards.
They just totally confused the secondary of the Buffalo Bills. They didn't know where to line up, who to cover. They're trying to communicate back there. You can see him right here. Duke Williams turns his back to the quarterback, and right up underneath, Tom Brady sees that and finds LaFell for a touchdown.
Third touchdown pass for Brady today. Patriots have scored on 4 consecutive possessions and now lead by 16. Fourth quarter here in Orchard Park. Rob Gronkowski, injured earlier, returned. Big part of that last drive. Brandon LaFell with his second touchdown of the season. 2 weeks ago today, Patriots losing Kansas City 41-14. Sky is falling in New England. Well, they bounced back. They put up 43 on the Bengals last week and lead by 16 today.
Rob Gronkowski just keeping an eye on him on the sideline, having a little snack. And after my own heart right there. Sometimes you need a break, get the calorie take back up.
Hard to keep Goose away from any food on the sidelines.
A little jealous.
Orton was looking to set up the screen. Second and 10 upcoming.
Walker and Wilfork smelled that one.
Those are not the easiest plays. A lot of people see those screens and think it's an easy play. There's a lot of coordination that goes along with all the different elements. Your quarterback's selling it.
Yeah, especially
the
on
offensive
first
line,
down.
running backs.
Catch those linemen coming upfield.
Second and 10. Orton over the top. It's Jackson. Brett Jackson has a first down out to the 32-yard line.
That was a nice finish on the run. Just get a little bit of movement, and then he split both the defenders, took that soft spot to push it for the first down.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be 2 yards shy of the first, right? Hitting yardage.
91's your mic. Down. Lady. What's up?
Orton's pass could not be handled this time by Chandler. Time for a game break to Los Angeles. Joel Klatt. Joel?
All right, Kenny, we all saw on Fox NFL Sunday the amazing feature about Greg Olsen, his family, his son TJ, and today he gets into the end zone. 5th touchdown of the season. Carolina goes up by 7, 31-24. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Looks like he got hurt on that play, too. Again.
Good one in Cincinnati. Panthers by 7. Orton to the outside, and this time it is Hogan unable to make the catch.
Couple of drops this series right here. Again, it goes back to what we talked about coming out to start the second half. And when you're playing your division rival, a team that has really had the upper hand on you for over a decade, the one thing you cannot do is beat yourself. And Buffalo's just had too many mistakes during the course of the game today. Some major like the turnovers, some just a part of the game with the drop passes.
3 first-half turnovers by the Bills, leading to 13 New England points. Third down and 10. Not enough. Woods stopped after a gain of 8. And now Doug Marrone will leave his offense out on the field on 4th down and 2. Still a 2-score game midway through the 4th quarter. Bills must get to the 42-yard line for a first down. Orton on 4th and 2. It is Woods who makes the catch. Brought down by Dennard at the New England 25-yard line. So on 4th down and 2, Woods gains 35 yards.
Wow, what a gutsy call. Wow. Most people are thinking coming all the way from the inside of that slot, navigates it well. It was a good release, good design by the formation of the play to get Alfonso Dennard in that chase position.
From the Patriots 25. Orton fires. It's Hogan, and it is ruled a completion down at the New England 6.
Making amends for that one he dropped earlier on this drive.
Let's see. Rule the catch on the field.
It looked like it to me, Kenny.
Ball spotted at the 8. First and goal for Buffalo, trailing by 16. Orton on first down, to the end zone, touchdown, Chris Hogan. And now the Bills will go for 2.
Just when you think they're going to go and punt the ball and give it back to New England, they go for a 4th down and put this drive together for a touchdown right here. The spark they needed, Darryl.
Yeah, gutsy call on the 4th and 2. You really can't give it back to New England. They've been so efficient here in the second half with their offense. They're just going to milk that clock. Doug Marrone and his offense stay on the field and hit the big play down the field to Robert Woods on that 4th and 2.
So now the Bills go for 2. As they try to pull to within 8.
To Ohio. 380 to Ohio. Ohio.
So the Buffalo Bills reach the end zone, and then Orton to Woods on the two-point conversion. Now trail by 8.
After reviewing the play, the ring on the field stands. The try is good.
All scoring plays are reviewed. Walt Coleman took a look at the two-point conversion. Mike Pereira, what did you see?
I see it good right there. He has control of the air with the ball across the plane. He's then contacted by the defense. That means his forward progress in the end zone gives him a successful two-point try.
All right, thanks, Mike. So it's a one-score game following the touchdown pass. Kyle Orton to Chris Hogan, his first NFL touchdown. Hogan, a lacrosse star at Penn State. And then he played 1 year of football at Monmouth. He reaches the end zone to pull the Buffalo Bills to within 8 following the two-point conversion. Under 6 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Another short kickoff by Gay, the kickoff specialist. Bills the only team carrying 3 kickers this season. There's a flag on the return as Chunk takes it out to the 23.
Illegal block in the back. Number 30, return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's Deron Harmon. Patriots with an 8-point lead in Orchard Park. One-score game at Orchard Park. Worst starting field position of the day for New England. From their own 7. Brady on first down to Gronkowski. Gronkowski quiets the crowd as he takes it out to the 15-yard line for a gain of 8.
One of the things that New England has been able to do repeatedly this afternoon is quiet this crowd, and look at what their efficiency has been in the second half. That's why that 4th and 2 for the Buffalo Bills, you have to go for it, because look how good they've been in the second half offensively. Can the Patriots do it again? Can they quiet this crowd down with this opening first down on this series?
Empty backfield, 2nd and 2. Brady pump fake, now he throws, and it's stripped, incomplete. Intended for Edelman. Brady took another hit. It will be 3rd down and 2 for New England. And now there's a flag on the far side of the field.
Offside, number 92, defense. 5-yard penalty. And first down.
That's Jarius Wynn. 92 for Buffalo.
In a series of replays, you saw the hits on Tom Brady. Manny Lawson hits him, is driving him one direction, and then he gets contacted by his own player, gets bent back the other way.
Another flag. Holding on the carry.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 19, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Brandon LaFell.
There's number 19 coming up to the line of scrimmage. Don't know if he was set long enough before the snap of that ball. Just a little bit of trouble getting lined up correctly.
1st and 15 following the penalty. Off the fake to Bolden. Brady fires to the outside, and the catch is made by Edelman. So hard to bring him down. Julian Edelman picks up a first down Out to the 35-yard line, a 20-yard completion.
Sometimes it's not how fast you run, it's how fast you stop. And Julian Edelman, watch him get in and out of this. I mean, he comes to a dead stop, and you can see how Leotis McKelvin continues. His momentum continues to carry him down the field. That's where that separation for that pass comes from.
9th reception for Edelman today. New set of downs for the Patriots with 4.5 remaining. And this play is blown dead. Another false start.
False start, number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
For 77 down. A lot of movement in that Bills defense, just that little flinch right there. The Patriots have been able to, on this drive, battle this crowd here, and the noise backed up to start the drive. The 1st and 15 on the connection to Julian Edelman, but they keep putting themselves in difficult positions.
They started at their own 7. Now first down and 15 from the 30. This time, incomplete. Looking for Edelman. Clock stops at 4:26. It's a one-possession game. Patriots lead by 8. Game 2 of the NLCS following football. Giants with a 1-game lead on the Cardinals.
Gronkowski, your tight end position at the top of the screen on the right, 87. He's been big during the course of this game on critical snaps.
On 2nd and 15, Brady hands it off to Vereen, and it is Nigel Bradham who makes the tackle. So the Patriots now facing a 3rd and long as Darius leaves the field. Marcel Darius, the reigning AFC Defensive Player of the Week, to the sideline. 3rd down and 16. Patriots must get to the 45 for a first down. As Brady steps up and throws, and the catch is made by Gronkowski, silencing the crowd once again. On 3rd and long, Gronkowski picks up a first out to the 46-yard line.
It seems like every critical snap here in the second half has been Gronkowski. And, you know, watch the top of the route. We've seen a couple on the Bills today to get the separation from Preston Brown. A little bit of a lean there.
So on 3rd and 16, Gronkowski gains 17 yards. And Tom Brady has his first 300-yard passing day of the season. This is Bolden, and he's hit for a loss by Gilmore as we check in once again with Joel Klatt. Joel?
All right, can you remember at the conclusion of your game, we've got America's Game of the Week. Dallas travels to the home of the 12th man, the Seattle Seahawks. It's the #1 rushing attack in the NFL against the #1 rushing defense. Cowboys Seahawks on Fox coming up next.
All right, Joel, Russell Wilson, 19-1 in his career playing at home up in the Pacific Northwest. Here in Orchard Park, the Bills use their first time out. It'll be 2nd down and 12 for New England. A huge play, Brady to Gronkowski moments ago. The Patriots able to move the chains on 3rd down and 16. Had the Bills stopped them on that play, New England would have been forced to punt. 60th career 300-yard game for Brady. That's 5th on the all-time list, his first this year.
Didn't have anything over 250 up through the first few games this year, but against Cincinnati, 290 plus, and today 300 plus.
Over 90 yards receiving for both Edelman and Gronkowski. 2nd down and 12. As Brady finds a wide-open LaFell, and Brandon LaFell fights off Leotis McKelvin and dives in for a Patriots touchdown, his 2nd today. 56 yards from Brady to LaFell, a 93-yard drive.
You talked about it, Kenny. The worst starting field position of the game. There's LaFell at the top of the bunch, fights through the release, in a trail position from the start. Leotis McKelvin, Duke Williams not in position to help over the top. And this Patriot offense has been unbelievable this second half.
They're just finding a way to win.
297 yards of offense in the second half.
Longest pass play of the season for the Patriots. They have now scored on 5 straight possessions. 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals. And the key play during that 93-yard drive, the 3rd and 16 completion from Brady to Gronkowski.
Well, we've talked about this divisional rivalry and how the Patriots have dominated since Belichick and Brady have been together. And, you know, can the Bills now start to reverse that trend? The excitement in this city coming into the game, and actually some things in their favor, some issues again with the interior of the offensive line of the Patriots. They've just found a way to win, and I think that that's the biggest testament to Tom Brady throughout his career. In a situation like this where things could be stacked against you, Brady motivates his team. He finds a way, and he wills himself to win these types of games. Just very impressed.
With all the injuries on the offensive line, you got to give them credit too. I mean, these guys came out. They had to move from guard to center, all over the place. We saw the injury list earlier. They just find a way to win, New England. And you know, one thing I think that's disappointing to this Buffalo Bills defense is their secondary. I've seen guys not hustling, not running to the ball, just breakdown after breakdown. That secondary let this defense down today, and this team.
Well, they could never figure out the matchup, not only with just Rob Gronkowski, but that tight end package that the Patriots are starting to utilize again this season.
Second touchdown of the day for LaFell. Week 6 continues later today on Fox, and for some of you on CBS. Then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and then tune in tomorrow, Monday Night Football on ESPN.
What a good pickup Brandon LaFell has been for the New England Patriots.
91.
He's caught a pair of touchdown passes in this 4th quarter. Bills go back to work from their 20, and a timeout is taken by New England.
First team timeout. New England, 30-second timeout.
You saw some of the critiques of Bill Belichick after the Kansas City game. We're on to Cincinnati. But you know what? He was kind of that way this week. You have the great performance against Cincinnati. We're on to Buffalo. I mean, it's a 1 week at a time. And, you know, there's a saying when you're in a football season during the course of it, 1 down and 1 to go. You never want to look too far ahead. You're always focused on your opponent. I don't think anybody does that as well and creates that atmosphere where his team does it so effectively as Bill Belichick. I mean, it's not coach speak. It's not cliche. As soon as this game is over, everybody's going to want to know about the injury situation with the Patriots. He's going to be, we're on to the Jets. We'll figure it out.
And speaking of injuries, Brady listed as questionable on Friday. You talked to him before the game. Tweaked his ankle during practice. But you look at his numbers today, just remarkable. As Orton's pass is off the hand of Robert Woods for Brady. 361 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. 10 times in his career, he's reached 300 yards in a game with at least 4 touchdowns, no picks. Only Drew Brees has done it more, 15 times.
And I think the amazing thing about Tom Brady throughout his career is he's been the one constant. There's been a lot of moving parts around him that he's had to adjust to change the offense to be productive, and he always seems to find a way.
Orton under pressure. Now he throws. Catch is made by Jackson, but he's met immediately by Dennard. Down to 2:20 remaining. Orton fires, and the catch is made by Hogan. As we approach the 2-minute warning, Bills quickly back up to the line. But They will not get another snap off. 2-minute warning here at Orchard Park. What a day for Tom Brady and the Patriots. Here's Tom Brady. He's thrown for 274 yards and 3 touchdowns in the second half alone. Patriots put up 43 points against Cincinnati Sunday, so 80 points over the last 2 games following the loss in Kansas City. Orton again under pressure, and the pass was short, intended for Jackson. Once again to Los Angeles, Joel Klatt.
All right, Kenny, we head down to Miami, and 11 plays, 60 yards, no timeouts, 2 minutes remaining. I'll take Aaron Rodgers, and he finds Andrew Corliss, and Green Bay takes a lead, 27-24. Kenny, Moose, and Goose, it was a great game.
And that is certainly good news for the New England Patriots. The Jets lost as well to the Broncos, 31-17. You think back to week 1 when the Patriots lost to Miami. The other 3 teams, Dolphins, Jets, and Bills, all won. The reverse here today, week 6. Sammy Watkins defended by Revis, his second catch today.
And I think that Sammy Watkins will grow from this game today working against Darrelle Revis. And it'd be interesting to listen to the conversation. Darrelle Revis was very complimentary of A.J. Green after their battle last week. He'll have learned some things this afternoon from going up against what a lot of people consider still the top corner in the game today. You throw him and Richard Sherman in that mix. But Sammy Watkins will come out of this game being better than he was before it.
Even the plays that he knew he wasn't going to get the ball, he always challenged him, and I really like that from a young guy.
Guess who? Ninkovich, again, his 3rd sack of Kyle Orton.
I thought you said they were friends, Kenny. A little rivalry right here. He's really had a nice afternoon. Working against Seantrell Henderson right there, just around the corner. A little bit too quick for him.
Yeah, he's got the speed to go and close that corner. They just can't stay with him.
Orton's pass through the hands of Chandler.
It's going to be interesting to see what the response of the Buffalo Bills will be next week. Now this is obviously not the result or the outcome that they expected. When we came into Buffalo this weekend with the sale of to the Pegula family and the excitement that was around the city, all the signs, Terry Pegula addressing the crowd here before the game. There was an electricity inside the stadium, and the Patriots time and time again, when the Bills were on the verge of stealing the momentum, just made plays and took it right back from them.
Bills home again, host Minnesota. Next Sunday, this franchise hopes to get where the Patriots have been over the last 2 decades. How about this, Darryl? The Patriots have played 26 playoff games since the last Bills playoff game, the Music City Miracle down in Nashville. 26 playoff games for New England.
The most impressive thing I saw this week getting ready for the game was Bill Belichick and Tom Brady together, the winningest head coach quarterback combination in the history of the NFL. When you're talking about coaches and quarterbacks with 75 wins together, just edging out Vince Lombardi and Bart Starr, but it was a who's who on that list of people. And, you know, to watch what these guys have done year after year after year, Manning, Dungy, Staubach, Landry, Bradshaw, Knoll, Walsh, Montana, it's Brady and Belichick that top that list.
21 of the last 22 for Tom Brady. His 23rd win in 25 against the Bills. To Los Angeles, Kurt.